Well, hello and welcome to Denmark and to the Brondby Stadion for the last 16 UEFA Women's Champions League first leg, and perhaps tie of the round in terms of competitiveness. Not much between these two sides on paper. Both sides, I think, happy with the draw, with a realistic opportunity to reach the quarter-finals of the competition. Looking at the two sides, and for the home team, well, second in their league, another positive start to the campaign, been scoring goals for fun as well. Nicola Sorensen will be a key figure for them, starts and has been banging in the goals. One or two other players of note, including the likes of Nana Christensen, can cause problems as well. Louise Christensen is the captain of the side. Glasgow City, just the one change from the weekend. Lee Alexander comes back into goal, but the big news is Leanne Crichton is fit to start after a bruising challenge from Chantel Brown of Rangers, which seen her go off early in that cup semi-final, but she is fit to play and is in the starting 11. It's a very similar side to what we've seen in the last round of the competition. It is Glasgow City to get us going in their orange and black, going from left to right in this first half. Already clear sign on this near side, trying to get a bit of movement, but Louise Christensen, the captain, gets in the way, but won back by Shine. Lauder in the middle there. Good early passing play on the side in orange. This near side is McLaughlin. Absolutely breezes by. He has Paul. Oh, and Sam Kerr, she scored! What a start! Inside the first minute, they kept hold of the ball. McLaughlin's fine work. And Kerr, it bumbled through and it's found its way into the back of the net.
Yeah, unbelievable. Brondby barely touched the ball. I think that maybe one player has touched it, but Glasgow City, they started well. They started on the front foot, and what was it, 40 seconds, and they attacked. They've gone at them, and they've got a slice of luck with a deflection that beats the keeper, but that's what you need at this level. You need sometimes. There's been times we've talked in the past where City just haven't had the luck in Europe. Today they have, and it's the perfect start, and hopefully they can continue on.
An away goal for Glasgow City, and you think of Kerr with the big goal that got them into the last 16 last year. Very notable for the celebration. And now they're going to have to take that early buzz and settle down. And well, just absolutely stunned the home fans, that early goal. Sam Kerr's 7th goal of the season. Rachel McLaughlin with the ball just inside her own half on this near side. Looking for Lauder, flicked away by Louise Christensen. Picked up by Nana Christensen, who's weaving into the middle of the park. Onto the far side, she finds space. Taken by Lindhart. Forward it went. Still on that far side, Carlson to Lindhart. Cleared away and clear Shine, the solo one in the chase, and she's got some pace here. Carlson having to get back in time for her goalkeeper Abel, who first thing she had to do in the game was pick the ball out of her net. And Brondby supporters trying to get themselves back into supporting their side behind here. Header up going, trying to get forward on the near side, but cleared away comfortably by the City defence. Referee is making sure the ball's on the right spot, right on halfway, right below us. So we're quite a wee bit up in the heavens of the Brondby Stadium. I think it takes around about 25,000. There was talking about a couple of thousand or so here to watch this, which was decent. It's not the regular ground, Brondby, but they wanted to play in this big stand, this big stadium. Launched up long by Pettersson. Essentially far side, some support there, it's just kept in all the way across, and big chance for the equaliser, not taken. And there was a couple in orange, McLaughlin and Ross having a bit of a chat. It was Hasbo who was the one that got done really by McLaughlin in the opening goal, but she couldn't get it on target over the bar.
Yeah, great chance for Brondby and City. You know, it was a simple long ball over the top, and they got in behind. And it's great being 1-0, but you've got to. It's important, you know. You can't give it away very early like they almost did there. But you know, first chance, and it shows Brondby are dangerous, and they can't afford to just try and rest on this now.
And there's Christensen just inside the City half. Good way off and past the Hasbo. Howitt and Kerr doing a good job. Shine. Howitt in the middle of the park. Kerr just inside the Brondby half, and Shine gets it back. Just a little too long for Lauder. Just trying to keep it in play. Scott Booth is below. It's fairly calm. I'm sure absolutely delighted with the start. It's a Glasgow City ball on halfway after a bit of head tennis. Rachel McLaughlin with it. We've played 5 minutes. Glasgow City with the early lead in the first minute through Sam Kerr. McLaughlin goes down the line, near side for Lauder. And themselves a little bit further forward here. McLaughlin's throw comes off a defender. Nana Christensen found space and across centrally. It's Sorensen, Nikolai Sorensen supporting there, and Christensen, both of them combine. Nana Christensen flinging it to the far side. Overlap there, Louise Christensen. Going to be a corner kick, and Brondby have responded well, Craig.
Yeah, definitely, and they've used the width of the pitch well. It's a very wide pitch here in Copenhagen and at the Brondby Stadion, and they're using it well. They're getting it out wide, and City, I think, just need to kind of watch, especially down that right hand side at the moment. Brondby are putting Doherty under a bit of pressure, managed to block that cross, but just something to watch out for City.
This is a short corner rolled in towards Christensen, who tried to play it back, took a little flick there off Lauder, it looked like. How it comes and disrupt the quickly taken throw, still on that far side, front of where the fans are. Fans are over on that far side. Great to have you with us for the early stages with Glasgow City with the early away goal through Kerr. But it has been pretty much all Brondby possession wise since. Ball to Plitter up on this near side, support in there, and Hasbo. Crichton comes in with a challenge on Christensen, about 25-30 yards out with the City goal. Cleared up, nearly down by Lena Svensson. And switch across to Neil Henriksen, trying to dot it forward towards the City goal. Doherty is on that far side with possession, looking for an option. Just plays it down and away. No one in orange there. Shine will not bother chasing it. Carlson with plenty of time in front of where the scoreboard is as we look at it in that far corner directly from us. Two centre halves just playing with it nicely. It went there looking for Christensen. Nana Christensen that was. Here she is with it back. Good exchange of passes. And Lenthart motoring in, looking to take on McSorley. I think it was Lauder with the touch just to edge out the box. Doherty has time on that far side. And just plays it again up the park. Not very far though. And Brondby very quick with the throw-in. Far side, 25-30 yards out from goal. Louise Christensen trying to float it in. Nana Christensen as well. One or two good passes. Howitt's trying to clear it. Took a deflection. Lenthart stayed in, and Lauder has to scoop away the attempted cross in. Howitt, I think, thought was going out. Into the edge of the box. Cross is half blocked. McLaughlin will get this away on the edge of the D. Shine again, the one figure chasing. She likes to do that. Pedersen going to no one, and that will skittle by. And it's fair to say 9 minutes on the clock. City with the goal, but Brondby very comfortable possession since.
Yeah, definitely. But at the end of the day, the possession is mainly just inside the City half, and they've had a wee bit joy down the wings, but Alexander yet to be called into action, and it's a question of obviously down the tactics for both sides. Obviously, neither side plans to either go 1-0 up within a minute or go 1-0 down within a minute. So we'll have to wait and see. Brondby have responded well. We'll give them a lot of credit for that, but we'll have to wait and see. Because both game plans for both teams are very quickly thrown out the window, and they've got to adapt, and we'll see who's can adapt well the best.
Well, if you are listening to us on the Facebook page, then send us a little comment and let us know if you are listening in. Played almost 10 minutes. Sam Kerr with the opening goal. Glasgow City with the lead in Denmark. Free kick to Glasgow City just inside the Brondby half, and this near side clear shine upended there by Pedersen. And perhaps a chance to get something in from a deep position. If you think of some recent games in the Champions League, Chernovo away, early goal, it was around about this kind of mark where City scored. If you think of Haley Loader again last year against Samatio, Barcelona scored in the first 2 or 3 minutes. So they've had some success away from home with the early goals. They've got one. Could they possibly get a second? Perhaps it gets the run of the possession of the play, because Brondby have had all the ball since. Leanne Ross to whip this in from a good 40-45 yards out. McSorley can get flick. Flag goes up though, and the referee blows her whistle. And it is all Polish officials. Augustine is the referee for this one. I think, in fact, she was in Scotland over the summer. She was one of the referees for the under-19s Euros. So referee Scottish side tonight on the pitch in the UEFA Women's Champions League. So it's at the back with Brondby, and Carlson on that far side from Svensson now on that wing. Howitt harrying. I think 1 or 2 from the Kirsty Howitt support fan club, and our dads here in Brondby. Very unmistakable with the Scottish jersey on around the city today. A few supporters here, but I know plenty of watching on, or listening on I should say, from home. We should hopefully bring you highlights over the weekend too, fingers crossed, all being well. Kerr here from McLaughlin on this near side, header back down the direction towards her. It's poked further forward with Leanne Ross getting there. McLaughlin keeps it in, Brighton halfway, but might put her side under a bit of pressure. McSorley gets there ahead of Ross, good communication, bobbing around a little bit on the halfway line on this near side. So eventually found some calm with Svensson on the back line for Brondby. Now the ball was not intended from Henriksen on the far side on the channel, skipping out of play. Haven't given you much of a report on the weather. It's about 12 degrees. It's not absolutely cold yet, but last night in the training session it did get cold when the sun did set. But the difference between last night and tonight is the fact that it's been chucking it down with rain for the last 2.5 hours, Craig. Yeah,
definitely. The rain has followed us from Glasgow. We're undercover, thankfully. The players obviously don't quite have that luxury, but it's a wide pitch, as we were saying. It's a lovely stadium. If you ever get the chance to come and visit, it's a lovely stadium. As you were saying, holds about 25,000. And they're saying a couple of thousand expected today. So anyone in orange, we can see to the left of us, you can see a little band of orange and black scarves, and I'm sure they'll be very happy with how the opening 13 minutes has gone here in Copenhagen.
Crichton centrally inside the Brondby half. McLaughlin getting about 30 yards out. Support there, Lauder. There's quite a bit forward here. Similar move to the opening goal, but the pass long doesn't quite work out for Love. But again, the little flurry forward, they actually got bodies forward there, and there was potential for that right pass down the right hand side, near hand side. Quickly distributed, and now ball forward played towards Christensen. Nana Christensen on the edge of the box there, and a swipe from McSorley to put it behind. One little ball, good run, and a ball forward towards Christensen. And then the ball darted behind in the 14th minute here. Near side corner for the home team, looking to get back in level terms. Now the fans are anticipating something. It's into a good area and it's skiffed behind, well wide, despite the crowd giving it loudly with the cheer. I actually nearly thought for a second it skiffed off a City shoulder or body, but it may well have been pleathered up, I think, and got the touch. So nothing doing there. And it remains 1-0. Hello to Elaine McGoldrick and Christina Eagle, Alex Eady, Maureen as well, Laura Henny, listening to the radio commentary if you are listening. Give us your thoughts on the progress of the game. Sam Kerr's early goal in the first minute within about 45 seconds, opening the scoring. Lauder putting pressure on defence for Brondby, who were trying to keep it in their path. Now the ball to this near side, just inside the City half with Pleather up. Back to Hasbo. Cross for Tavlo Pettersson. It's a superb ball over the top here. Doherty is there. Alexander has came rushing out and got good fingers onto the ball away from Nicolai Sorensen. Alexander back in position. The ball still in play on the far side. In towards Christensen. Trying to deliver something. McSorley away. Soaking up a bit of pressure here. City. Again, very quick with the restarts. Long towards Pettersson. They're being pushed back into their own half here. Brondby with Linus Svensson and their centre half teammate Hasbo. Now picking up on this left side, support behind and Pleather up. Love and McLaughlin shadowing. Eventually Lauder picking the pocket, but McLaughlin's struggling to keep this in, and she hasn't kept it in. And Hasbo's got a chance, throwing just around 20 yards out from goal on this left side. Looks to do some defending here. Finds Ross in the box. McLaughlin. Ball getting a bit stuck under the feet there. Pleather up trying to keep it alive. Lauder off the player of Josephine Hasbo, and City will get the chance from the throwing down there, but again, one or two moments perhaps of slight concern. City are soaking up the pressure.
Yeah, I think will be the slight issue for Scott at the moment. Will be just the worry that City aren't really getting possession of the ball, and when they are, they're losing it pretty quickly. Howitt's
lost the ball here. Hasbo found support, flicked toward Nana Christensen, but away from the target, and that was this time a little mistake.
Yeah, and that shows Brondby will try and hurry City and kind of harry them and try and get something. They're definitely, since the goal, have definitely been on top, but as it stands, City have the goal, which is the important thing. The scoreboard to our right has City 1-0 up, and that's all that matters.
Ball down this near side, clear side, chasing really hard to put Svensson under pressure. Yeah, we'll put it back to the defender, and Pleather up. Did that go out of play in the line? It didn't, and it's a ball that's sweeping down, and Ross just lets it go out with the help of a little shove in the back of Linthart. Back inside their own half. Hello to Eve Levy watching on. Hello to Tom as well, to Emma Thompson. Hello to Calm and Nee Noble. Nee is in the City 50s national performance team, so great to have the young players listening as well. I know one or two others from the development team, Lucy Ronald, listening in. Of course, has had first team game minutes. On halfway, then Brondby in their yellow and navy kit. Good play. Christensen, support, and a long distance strike from Nicolai Sorensen. She did have a half a gap. She found it. Pretty tame throw into Alexander's arms, and no real trouble there for Alexander, who's in the all green kit tonight. 20 past 6 local time, an hour in front of back home. Still rain, pretty torrential. Howitt was found by Crichton, sitting below us, near side and the right. McLaughlin. Howitt, that's a lovely ball. Kerr's onside and chance to get the ball into the box. Been going around the line and the defender blocks Christensen. It's Louise Christensen with the captain's armband. Still with City with the throw in on this near side. At 40 yards out, Long looking for Shine. A little defensive touch in from Lena Svensson. McLaughlin just a little bit further up from the 18-yard line. Shine and Lauder around. Kerr 2. Lauder looking to try and peel away towards the byline. McLaughlin goes short with Kerr. McLaughlin again past Hasbro over the top of everyone. Lauder was the one closest, but a good minute or so of play, Craig.
Yeah, and that's the first real time City have been able to get their foot on the ball and just pass it around and just start to stretch Brondby a wee bit. They've been soaking up a lot of pressure in this opening 20 minutes, but that I think will please Scott. They've weathered the first storm. I expect Brondby will come back and search for the equaliser, but that'll please Scott that City were able to get forward, were able to get just time on the ball, just relieve pressure from the defenders, let the back line have a little break, and that's poor pass from Brondby as they try and find that equaliser, and City will be enjoying that. Little errors creeping in.
Yeah, they've kept the crowd quiet of City despite one or two little moments for Brondby. Nothing absolutely clear cut, but it's a terrific away job so far, but still very early. Played 20 and a half minutes in the Brondby Stadion. Brondby side with big history, the men's side. I know, speaking to one or two of the club officials last night, the big men's derbies with Copenhagen. And the Copenhagen men's team only formed in the early 90s, merger of one or two clubs. Leanne Crichton gets a lot of blocking in halfway, and now on this near side, good way out, but good recovery from Hasbro, and gets past Lauder, plays it into the middle of the park, cushioned back by Christensen, cross from Pedersen to the far side. I think Henriksen perhaps looking for an early cross in, but instead goes short with Pedersen. And off Doherty, and they went all the way level with the 18-yard box on that far side. Again, another swift throw in. And driving on, another Christensen providing support. Doherty manages to hook it up, and it's staying in place, so it's a bit of a canter back with no one in orange anywhere near remote on the far side, and able outside their box, the goalkeeper for Svensson. Played it up past McLaughlin on the near side, past halfway. Ross heads it for the dugout area for a clearance. Hello to Fiona, hello to Nadia watching on or listening on to our live radio. So level 18-yard near side, taking away, played it up the throw in, and she's just been pushed out of play. Rachel McLaughlin, very early in the game, but certainly Rachel McLaughlin's been lively once again. A couple of times she got round when she's been attacking, but also very comfortable defensively. Yeah, definitely, and I think the whole City side have done a great job defensively so far. You see, whenever they do lose the ball, they're all getting back four, back in line. Kind of midfield 5 with Kirsty dropping in, and I think it's restricting Brondby, and they're going long, and it's one, as the game wears on, could it potentially get under their skin if they can't force an equaliser, and could play into City's hands. But at the moment, I think Rachel McLaughlin has been City's best player. Every time this ball gets in City possession, she's storming down the right and trying to make an option, and equally as soon as they lose the ball, she's one of the first ones back. I'm sure we'll have a player of the match vote at the end of the game, and I'm sure we'll have that on our Twitter to cast your votes on that, but hopefully we can have a result for Glasgow City and for the Scottish game, which keeps them tight. Glasgow City have never won their last 16 away tie, Ross plays it up towards halfway, but only to a Brondby player. But that's going to be fed through all the way back to Alexander from Plitterup. That's perhaps one thing so far. City, maybe at times, just to get some distance away from their own half, but once or twice they do just kick the ball away to no one.
Yeah, they have gone long a few times, definitely putting the ball down the wings and not finding anyone, but
well, it's been lost here in Bolton. Ali Christensen flung wide, and Sorensen in towards a couple of yellow jerseys, including Christensen. Linthart was around too. Lauder on the other side. It's time to find Alexander, who heads up towards the near side on halfway. Header down, but only finding a Brondby player to City. And McLaughlin, good link up. Now finds Howitt in the centre circle area, but very isolated, and comes to Henriksen on that far side. Cut out by Love, but back with Sorensen. In there coming is captain Louise Christensen. Wide by Sorensen. Out towards the corner flag, being pushed on. Good pressure done by Docherty. Ball cleared again. No one in orange and black though. All the way back to halfway. Brondby again with the possession. So we mentioned earlier it's a very wide pitch, a lot wider than Peters Hill. Bigger stadium as well. Yeah, it'll be interesting, whatever the scoreline dynamic, how Brondby take to Peters Hill next week, or a couple of weeks' time. 31st October, I'm sure plenty of City supporters hoping for a bit of a spooky night for the Danes on Halloween. I think probably, Craig, because you're probably on Twitter that night, you'll have a lot of puns up your locker.
Yeah, Halloween will be hopefully a fright and a bit more for Brondby. Yeah,
and I think I know a few of the certainly City youth players were guys in that night, but actually coming guys at the game, because we're going to have some activities on the night because it is Halloween. So if you haven't bought your tickets yet, do so on the website, and you can there'll be some great Halloween activities for the kids, if you're a player or not in with Glasgow City. But if you want to go guys into football, why not? It's a great marriage. Hopefully it will be a good night. Hopefully Glasgow City have the result from the first leg. 26.5 minutes played in Denmark. Brondby 0, Glasgow City 1. Sam Kerr with the finish from a tight area, which kind of spilled through the keeper. Didn't really handle it at all well, did Catherine Abel, and the opening goal. But since then, bar a little couple minutes spell a few minutes back, it's been all Brondby in possession, but not too much threat. Sam Kerr lifts the ball on halfway in. Now she's on the far side, roving into the box. She's needing some help perhaps in a foot race, and the tackle comes in. Well, she's won a corner. Absolutely brilliant play from Sam Kerr. There was players coming in, but there's 2 or 3 defenders coming in, and Louise Christensen had to make the slide to stop a ball coming across the 6-yard area. And from nothing, City have got a corner on the far side, and this is where they'll be looking to pick pockets and score goals. They have done a lot of that, particularly at the weekend. They were causing Rangers all sorts of problems in the Scottish Cup semi-final. So Leonos far side from the left to fling in here. Can City snatch a second goal on the night, a second away goal, and it comes over the top of Crichton, up high by Plitterup. McSorley's header. Flick back, only towards Shine on the edge of the box. A bit heavy for McLaughlin. Now there's big problems. There's only one back, and Docherty. Jolov trying to sprint. It's Linthart. McLaughlin just puts a little love tap in the back, and what a bit of play there from McLaughlin to recover her mistake, but pinched it off Christensen. And now City have it back, and they're looking to recover the shape. McLaughlin on halfway, near side, trying to get around Hasbro. Howitt with some support. Good link up between the two. McLaughlin up towards Shine. Still a good 35 yards, 40 yards out. Trying to play through Lauder for Howitt, but only found Pedersen. And City reformed their shape. Thoughts of Craig in the moment, of course, as well as giving his expert eye on our radio coverage. He's live tweeting the game as well, so busy man. And Carlson in the defence centrally to the near side with Witherup, and fairly calm so far for Brondby as they try to break, but now back in the possession play, and perhaps maybe a weakness in the set piece area there, because Brondby didn't really deal with that particularly well.
No, they didn't, but City then made it an issue all by themselves, losing the ball on the edge of the box, and Brondby allowed to break. But again, great tracking back by McLaughlin. But to win the corner, Sam Kerr has, she's got the goal. She's been actually a great piece of skill to lift the ball over the defender and drive forward.
But it is Sorensen near side, getting past Joe Love into the box. It's been set up here for a strike from Nana Christensen. There was 2 or 3 bodies around, and it was easily deflected and cleared, but there was a bit of a gap. It wasn't actually the most powerful of strikes, but there was a bit of an opening, and City survive for now as we head towards the half-hour mark. But quickly again, near side throw, and it's bowled through the centre looking for Christensen, but there comes Howitt, tries to play for Shine, but the two not quite with the same link-up thoughts. The two City players, Kirsty Howitt with 33 goals this season in all competitions, but also set up a few as well. Her and Shine have had this great link-up since Claire Shine came back to the club. And now Crichton, middle of the park, 2 or 3 good passes strung together. It's a bit short from Shine though, as Sam Kerr couldn't retrieve. And the home support with the applause for the take back of the ball. Played her up on that halfway line. Well, it's Patea that they put out in the last round, did Brondby. As Crichton makes the block deep in their own half. Well, attempted pass, Shine through the middle of space which has been closed down. The pass doesn't come off, comes off Louise Christensen. But they edged through against Patea, 2-1 in aggregate. And it wasn't the easiest tie-in. No, pre-season's different, but City beat Patea in that pre-season game. Hasbro wide here, heading towards the 18-yard area, but pushed away by McLaughlin the ball in the 32nd minute. Ball played towards Christensen, but I don't know if she was trying to play a pass or a shot. It was taken anyhow straight through for Alexander. Sorensen was making a run. You do worry a little bit if they do soak up so much pressure while they have the energy in the tank. I know they're fit and the like, but it's a lot of working around that final third of the pitch at the moment. Yeah, and
it will take it out of them, but especially with it being a wide pitch as well, it's not as narrow as Peters Hill, so there's a wider space, wider areas for Brondby to exploit and obviously tire City out. But I think if you offered Scott after a third of the game, you'd be 1-0 up. I think he would very much be taking it.
I think he'd be in the plane home actually. I think with that, absolutely. Good play though, good passing. Christensen flings out to the far side. 2, 3, 4 in yellow as flicked by Docherty. McLaughlin's going to get her header on it though, ahead of Hasbro. Shine up towards Lauder. What a flick by Lauder. Now there could be a break as forward comes Howitt. The keeper is retreating rather than coming forward. There's 2 defenders around. Howitt's going to have to go herself here. Kirsty Howitt just puts it wide in the target. There was a couple of other City players, didn't quite come at the same pace as Howitt, but a good bit of pressure release. But there's an opportunity perhaps, Craig, that there is that out ball on the break.
Yeah, and that's probably what City's plan is this evening, is to try and catch Brondby on the break, and they showed they can do it there. Great Lauder winning the ball in midfield, and great ball through to Howitt, but finished just not quite what we're used to this season. But Brondby's not going to want to give her many more opportunities. We know what Kirsty Howitt's like once she gets her eye in.
Quick throw here, though, other side. Lindham across. Oh, a bobble around there from Hasbro, trying to play it in the box. A shot away anyway. It pinged off a couple of players. Played her up Back more central with Nana Christensen supporting Louise Christensen. We have a dig deflected but taken by Alexander, and she could see it coming through to her arms. Pretty bread and butter stuff, but it was perhaps one of those that if the deflection went a slightly different road it might have been more troublesome.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we saw with the City's goal at Sam Kerr's shot, it took a deflection that probably wrong-footed the goalkeeper, and that's all it needs, is just a cruel deflection, and there'd be nothing that Lee Alexander could have done there, but thankfully it was nothing major and a simple save.
Good play, Sorensen into the box here from the far side. I think Nana Christensen was looking for it back. Now she's been pushed away from the box, but good support, and Pettersson, it's deep, perhaps it's a little too deep for Hasbro. Pulled her up across, there's the header. Oh, it's wide of the target. She got in between the two defenders, did the Brondby player, but couldn't arrow it on goal. Well, that was perhaps a chance, one of those instinctive ones that comes to you, but perhaps wasn't expecting it to come because she was in between two taller defenders, but got away with it. So 10 minutes at half time, this will be the other little mini target. Get to half time with the lead. Defensively with Kilson. 3 attempts from Brondby, 2 on target, 1 for City, 1 on target. Cross by Pilder, ball the way across the 6-yard area, no takers as it whistles by. But that perhaps says, despite all the pressure, Glasgow City have been clanking with that early chance. They've had one off target, probably hasn't been updated yet in the live timing. But Brondby, they've had 2 or 3 opportunities, couple on target, but the two on target have been very tame, easy saves. Yeah,
they've not really tested Lee Alexander in the City goal yet, and I think Scott has gone back into the dry dugout rather than standing on the touchline just for the moment. He'll be very happy, I think, with the defensive side of City's performance. They've restricted Brondby. The balls into the box have been decent, but they've not found a player in yellow, and it's been mainly McLaughlin's head that they've always found, and that'll do for City if it stays like that for the rest of the tie here.
City throwing far side, a little flick on from Howitt, heading it towards halfway, but taken down by a yellow player. But Crichton, in fact Lauder, thinking the referee just stopping it from getting forward. And I'm sure with the rules, the referee doesn't have to stop these days with a referee, but play on anyway.
I think so. I think that was the new rule.
Yeah,
there's so many new rules brought in.
The handball will not get to that, but yeah, it's supposed to restart the play when it hits off the referee. But they played on. Brondby have it just inside the City half, lobbed over, but McSorley finds Love, and Sam Kerr let that go by like fresh air, and Brondby will have it again, but it is inside their own half with Caroline Plidderup. As we are ticking towards the half-time break, McLaughlin getting her shirt pulled just inside the City half by Lintart, and quick free kick taken. Love, Kerr could link up in the middle of the park. Lauder skips it up. Love centrally there with some pressure from Louise Christensen. McSorley to Docherty, looking to take on Svensson. However, she put aside under pressure, and Alexander having to come out here as there was a chase, but McSorley went to cover Docherty's position, and Liam Ross at the back. First time we've seen too many passes between the defenders, which have been relatively without clearing the ball away. Lauder for McSorley just inside her own half, looking right and left, looking to ping it, and pings it miles away from Docherty's path. Good idea, but Docherty was wanting it closer to her feet. Lights bright, shining around the arena. Lovely arena, as I say, around about a couple of thousand. They were expecting maybe 2,500. Not sure it's quite that. A decent crowd on the far side as it's a foot race and the flag goes up. And it's Sorensen wait until the player reached the ball. So Alexander with the ball in their path. Like Glasgow City, Brondby, a side that have been champions heck amount of times, 12 times, 11 cups. Per Larson is their manager, is a bit of a legend, played his entire career with the Brondby men's side, and a few caps as well for his country. In fact, Brondby I think would be top, but for a game where they fielded an ineligible player and they lost the 3 points, so de facto are top but currently second. And their system, they've got a bit of a weird pyramid structure, or a weird system with their league, one of those funny kind of split routines with kind of teams from the second tier joining the bottom sides and so forth. It's something that should take longer than the handball rule to discuss. Ball in towards the City box. McSorley found Crichton. Love trying to help it further up the park. 5 minutes to half time, plus anything that potentially the ref wants to add on from Poland. Polish officials here. Nice ball, Christensen helping its way. Both of them combining. Louise Christensen this time. Kerr only partially away though towards Pettersson centrally. But Love around there, and Crichton will take the foul. Good to see Leon Crichton been moving fine, moving well after that horror challenge early on Sunday.
Yeah, and that was it's a big boost to have her in that centre of the park, trying to control the midfield. And obviously, major doubt. Training yesterday, she seemed to be moving fine, so we were optimistic coming to the stadium this afternoon. But it's great to see it, and there's not been any problems we've seen. Yeah, she's moving freely, and hopefully she may be brought off early, potentially with lots of games still coming up in the next few weeks. But so far she's been injury free here, moving well. All is good.
No, it's good with the scoreline at the moment as Alice McSorley on the far side leaves the ball for Doherty. We've got a throw in here. Using the very much experienced players in that back line tonight. It's nothing to do with the younger ones that I've played as well, but like some McSorley's fighting fit since returning to the club, and very solid so far in the marshalling with McLaughlin and Doherty fullbacks doing their job defensively as well as going forward. Particularly McLaughlin. Long ball here towards Kerr on the near side, just dots it off there, Svensson, and they've got themselves up about 22-23 yards towards goal. Been a wee while since we've seen them up this part of the pitch. Laughlin in towards Shine in the edge of the box. Howitt with the flick. Shine needing a bit of support. There's about 6-7 defenders. McLaughlin in towards Howitt. She's left it. The defenders left it as well. Lauder's going to keep it in play. It's Henriksen that didn't get on it either. It's a bit long for Howitt, who's lost the ball, but not really her fault. Sorensen found a good pass. Lindhart, but there's Joe Love tucking in at left back.
Once again, every time City come forward and lose the ball, the amount of players in orange busting a gut to try and get back, it's great to see. And you know, it's what you want as a supporter as well, to see your team giving 100%, and you can't fault any of the players in orange at the moment. 2 minutes
plus anything added on, if there's anything added on here in Copenhagen. Long from Pillar up. Rossi's header down deep in the half. Crichton centrally for McSorley, who cushions it back to Alexander. Along it goes. Rain still coming down. It's a bit more of that kind of, do we call it torrential drizzle? It's just kind of, doesn't look too heavy, but it's just like drizzly rain. It's kind of come down at a a fair pelt. I'll say that I'll look at under the lights and that, 'cause it's probably more like chucking it down normal rain, but I'm not a weatherman. But we are fast approaching half time.
We'll stick to the football.
Yeah, we'll stick to the football and writing up the Halloween gags for a fortnight's time. And Alexander's got a free kick, still well deep in half on that far side. Howitt's going to try and get a flick. Defender was there first, sent back down the direction of McSorley with an attacker behind. Alexander has time, not an awful lot, but she's going to get time to blast it up towards halfway. There is Louise Christensen, but she couldn't keep hold, and Howitt, and flag going up there just inside the Brondby half, the City players, and one or two looking a bit amused, but Brondby are very quick to restart the game on the far side, on halfway. Not too many options though, as Barclay assigned everyone in orange and black is in their own half here. McLaughlin gets the ball, decision. Not sure about that, but Rachel McLaughlin will take it. As we tick into any stoppage time, if we have any. I don't see a board, and we don't have any stoppage time. Half time in Copenhagen, and well, it was a perfect start for Glasgow City. Never won a last 16 away tie, and Sam Kerr scored inside the first minute. Good play, press and play, got the ball, a couple of good passes. Sam Kerr creeped into the box. It was McLaughlin's good work as well, and she had a strike from around about 6-7 yards on the angle, and it kind of went through by the fingertips of Abel. And from there, Brondby have had plenty of possession and one or two shots on target, but nothing of real trouble. You just have to hope that City can withhold that pressure in the second half. But Craig, with the score at 1-0 at the break, Scott were absolutely delighted.
Yeah, I think that if Scott had a dream last night about this game, it would have been that City would be a goal up, and it's come, and they've played really well. They got the early goal, and they've withstood Brondby pressure, and it's not been relentless pressure as well. It's been in phases, and they've held out, and they've threatened as well. And Brondby now, they're going to have a real question themselves at half time. How much do they go for an equaliser? Because a second City goal, and they've got a hard job to coming back to Petershill. So it'll be interesting to see how Brondby set up. City, I'd be surprised if they don't stay as they are. They're playing well, compact, breaking well. They've had a couple of times they broke well, and when they're winning possession in the centre of the park, they're getting it out, especially to this right hand side. And McLaughlin and Kerr are linking up really well. And there's been a couple of times both of them have got to the byline, and it's just the ball's just not found a player in orange. But all it needs is, as what happened with the goal, a little deflection, and the keeper could be helpless, and it could be a second. So Scott will be very happy. He'll think that's quarter of the tie done, and they're 1-0 up.
As Bromley get us underway in their yellow colours, going from left to right in this second half. So the one change for Brondby, clearly an attacking change. Perhaps they're feeling a little bit worried at the half-time point of this first leg. Craig Edwards.
Yes, it's definitely an attacking change. So they're definitely thinking they need the scoreline right now. Naturally, obviously doesn't suit them, they're behind, but I think they don't want to be going to Petershill behind as well. I think the worst they're going to want to be is level. Ideally for them, they'll want to be in front with something to hold on to at Petershill, but for City, it's hopefully another same 45 minutes.
Yeah, Brondby looking to attack from the off. City scored, remember, first minute, went past that 45-50 second mark in the second half. Brondby having it, but it's back deep in their own defence. And to the near side on halfway is Emil Henriksen. And very comfortable in that back line. Rushing anything, they haven't been too rushful so far. Pettersson looking to ping it to that far side, which McLaughlin's got relatively covered. Took a little touch there away from Linthart. quickly towards the edge of the box though, pullied across Sorensen, away by Lauder. Good space, but the space that the attacker had closed down quickly. Henriksen, Carlson across that back line, lofted over for the far side. Rich McLaughlin again, a bit of a menace. Switching across here, and Sorensen is onside. What a touch in the box here. Docherty gets a little flick. McLaughlin's going to fire it away. It was some ball in the air. The cushion touch from the player that's scored so many goals for the side, Nicolene Sorensen. But away it went. Still attacking here, Christensen. 1-2 Christensen. Crichton gets a little flick away. Christensen keeps it alive though, to the far edge of the box. On the left side, Linthart dispossessed though. She's been pushed to the corner flag by McLaughlin. And Lauder, as Linthart taking the tumble, Linthart trying to back to her feet and continue playing, but eventually Crichton found, and although still deep in defence, Lauder is going to get the ball and throw the think in the far side, but early pressure. What a ball that was, a minute or so back, Craig, but it wasn't finished off by Sorensen.
Yeah, it was a terrific ball, and Brondby showing the quality they got. What we've maybe not quite seen in the opening 45, but terrific ball, and what a touch as well, and great tracking back though from Nicola Docherty. Gets that little foot in, just I think Sorensen was trying to shape up for a shot, and Hayley Lauder did the rest with clearing the ball away.
Well, the ball lumped up how it was there, but quickly dispossessed of back in that defensive centre back duo. It's a short pass though, and Joe Love is, well, perhaps foul, but Shine takes over the ball 25-30 yards out centrally. Sam Kerr tries to take a bit of a strike, a bit of a dig at it, but not enough power, and curling well wide of the right post as we look at it. There's a little bit more support around. On this near side, forward there from Henriksen. Christensen lays off. Sorensen in the edge of the box there, taking a nick, and it will be a corner on this near right side. And well, not had too many corners yet. It's quickly taken and taken into Alexander's hands. It's short between Sorensen and Nana Christensen. Lovely ball, but very assured from Alexander, Craig.
Yep, and that's what you want from a goalkeeper. It was a nice quick short corner from Brondby. I think City players were still organising themselves in the box, but that's what you want from your keeper, and that's what you get with an international class goalkeeper. Just balls in the air, comes out, grabs it very clean, straight to the ground, safe possession, and City now nice free kick just in their own half, and just calm things down a bit.
5 minutes into the second half, it was a subbing for McLaughlin. She's kind of hobbling back to her feet and getting them back into position. Leanne Ross with it, around about 12 or 14 yards inside her own half, and goes down that far right channel, and the header goes basically back to almost where Leanne Ross took the free kick. It kind of trundled its way over the line at a very slow pace. No one was in a hurry to keep it in, but McLaughlin got to throw it slightly further up, just towards halfway. In fact, she's taking it into the Brondby half, taking full use of her time. Well, it's picked up by Lauder, stopped in her tracks. Love keeps it from McSorley halfway. Docherty just inside the City half, near side on the left here. Lauder's touch for Howitt. The two combine, and Lauder going to flick it in, looking for Shine's header! Oh, goodness me, Claire Shine came up highest, and it was a good chance there, but couldn't get it on target and flicked by that left post as we look at it.
Yeah, it's a great chance. It's a bit out of nothing from City as well, and that's what they had to do. And
Sorensen just come up the other side, challenging him, sorely missed. Leanne Ross trying to get the flick. It's just about being kept on the byline, and then the flick from Ross Cross comes in, Sam Kerr heads it back down this near side, but frantic bit of play still with Brondby. And very quickly from Shine's effort, it shows the pace that Brondby have. Docherty, and we've got it half away, but back it comes. Switch for Sorensen. And there's the turn and the flick, the strike there from Windsor. But so many bodies around, still in play, near side, right side for Sorensen. Little cute ball, Henriksen further across. Oh, it's almost an own goal from McSorley off the crossbar. There was a fall up in there, and I think the flags possibly went up. There's a player down in yellow, but McSorley tried to clear, and that one, City do get away with one there. There's a Brondby player, I think it might be Linthart, it's went back to a few, but I think perhaps with a nosebleed. But Craig, it was someone, you kind of were talking about the Shine chance, but then the next kind of a minute or so was a bit hear him scaring for Brondby. Yeah,
and that's a slight worry of what it just needs one. I wouldn't say an error, it just kind of came off McSorley's head weird, and if it was on target, maybe I think Lee might have been able to tip it over, but ends up off the crossbar, and
I think
I'm not really sure what's happening now.
I think we're going to have an indirect free kick here, because the referee stopped play. I think it was maybe a head injury. I thought the farmer went up, but it didn't. So Brondby have got an indirect free kick basically on the 6 yard line, edge of the 6 yard box on the left far side as we see it. And this is very interesting. So we've got 11 orange players in the box. This would be some way to equalise. This is extraordinary. It's going to be teed up and fired. I think Sorensen may well receive this. 54th minute here. 11 orange players, 10 orange outfield players in the box. By heck, there's going to be some scramble. This could go anywhere here. I think the home fans are, absolutely excited about this. So, and that's been teed up. It's looped over, and Alexander's got a big hand to it. It was Nana Christiansen. They're quickly going down to the corner for the ball. It's multi-ball system they've got in here, the ball patrol. Fire a low ball in, taken by Linthart on the edge of the 6 yard box. Back out wide it goes. It's taking a deflection for another corner. Again, Sorensen's going to try and go quickly, perhaps. Perhaps this time they're going to go with a more conventional route. 9.5 minutes into the second half. So corner far left side. Alexander's not got there, and she's got the free kick though. Crichton, I think, took a bit of a knock. McSorley, I think there's a couple of defenders trying to get it away in the middle of all that. There's not many words I can sum the last 2 minutes of action. It's been a bit chaotic. Last 5 minutes down this end almost.
Yeah, you don't see that every day, do you? An indirect free kick on the edge of the 6 yard box, right on the byline as well, as you can see just where the referee's spray was. The important thing, the ball didn't end up in the net.
Looks like we're going to see a change shortly. It looks like Jack Clark will be coming on soon. And I wonder if maybe McSorley, although has been fighting fit as we said in the first half, if she has started, has tended to play certainly in league games and maybe an hour or so. Brondby have had pretty much all the ball so far, bar that breakaway which shined the header, but it was very close, but just crept away. Back deep in their own half, Brondby with Carlson, a couple of touches, and now Sorensen near side, right side, only comes up against Docherty, only Shine around. Carlson back there defensively. Change coming shortly for Glasgow City. We had the one change with Windsor coming on, who hasn't made a great deal of change because they haven't really changed how they play Brondby. They haven't really lumping it forward or anything like that. Love has to hook it away from the edge of, a good 5-10 yards away from our box, but only to the far side, halfway. Brondby have it, going for that cross ball again. Docherty this time ahead of Sorensen. Crichton's hook gets it slightly further away. Kerr wrestled to the ground and a free kick which will relieve the pressure, and which we'll see Jenna Clark coming on here right down below us on the last instruction from Scott Booth. And as perhaps expected, Ellis McSorley is going to make way. Took that bit of a hit to the face and that melee of the goings on with the free kick inside the box, the indirect free kick. And McSorley, I think perhaps maybe just struggling a little bit, lumping off here, so very quick with the change. And Clark now on to slot into centre half. And yeah, your thoughts, Craig, on that change? As I say, as expected, McSorley, if she does start, tends to be off after an hour or so. We'll maybe get thoughts shortly, because Shine's picked up the ball on the far side in the ends box, but just been hounded out. Howitt trying to put the pressure on the defence to clear. It's going to be cleared as far as McLaughlin. On the far side still, Kerr couldn't keep hold of it, and it's up long, and Clark's sort of involvement is to watch it go back to Alexander. Clark's change, Craig.
Yeah, it's a good change. Obviously, Ellis got a clattering there in the box, and City just they don't need anyone if they're not 100% fit, and she was hobbling there as she came off. So Jenna Clark, she's got the aerial presence which will, if the high balls keep coming in, her and Leanne Ross are a very strong pairing at the back, and it presents a new challenge now for Brondby to try and get through them. Yeah, and
Brondby not perhaps playing with a huge injection at pace in their passing game, but Clark is pacey as well. Shine, when she tugged back, she was on this left side in the edge of the box. I think Carlson was the guilty party, so free kick opportunity. So head towards the hour mark, around about 20 yards out on the angle left side. Hayley Lauder is going to take. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the box, including lots of Shine and Clark, Crichton. So it's Lauder that leaves it for us. Oh, it's put for the keeper, it's in! Oh, it's a mistake from Abel, and Glasgow City have got a second on the road, a second away goal. Unfortunate for the goalkeeper, but shock horror on the hour mark. It's Brondby 0, Glasgow City 2.
And it's exactly what City needed. As soon as they get forward, they just needed that something, and they got the luck. The keeper, she's just come out, and you don't want to be too harsh on goalkeepers, but it's a howler. She's gone to punch it, and it's hit where she's made the fist. It's hit the flat part rather than the knuckles, and it's bounced in. There's a defender just behind it, stretching, trying to keep it out, but City have a 2-0 lead.
Astonishing, and well, Abel perhaps had some blame for the first goal, not taking anything away from Kerr, but it wasn't strong fingertips, and Kerr put it in the first minute. Exactly 60 minutes on the stadium clock right in front of us. Brondby 0, Glasgow City 2. They'll take the luck, and a quite sensational scoreline. They have never won a last 16 away game, have Glasgow City. They of course have reached the quarter-finals, but in previous games they haven't won an away tie, not been in too many, but quite extraordinary. What a scoreline, what a scoreline. I'll say it again, Brondby 0, Glasgow City 2. But Brondby on the far side looking to get players in. Clarkson have to try and deal with this. There's a bit of a mix-up, and Sarah Kerr gets on the road from Hanswell, who's getting the strike away. Also in there was Christensen ready to set up. Clark and Kerr doing a good job, as Brondby now might well have to up their passing game, because they've been quite steady with their passing. It's been decent. They've tried to penetrate Glasgow City, but they haven't really done an awful lot, bar one or two little moments. Good turn though from Sorensen. Good strike from distance, off the crossbar. Maybe it'll be fingertips. Still alive though. McLaughlin gets away from the foot of Winter. It's woken Brondby up into the game, and the urgency is there now. Big chance that was. Louise Christensen, 30 yards out centrally. Look at the 1-2. Sorensen is there again, linking up with Nana Christensen. On this near side, in from Louise Christensen, block though around, Doherty heads it, but only to Louise Christensen, the captain. Clark leaves it, and Alexander gives that shout to leave it, and well, that's a good response from Brondby, and City have without that 90 seconds or so.
Yeah, and that's key for City to hold out there. What is how the saying goes, you're most vulnerable when you've just scored, and it was a great strike, very unlucky, I've got to say, but City surviving. Now it's key the next few minutes, just make sure they don't let Brondby back in this game and try and make them work, and it's definitely woken them up.
And now there's space again here. City, remember, maybe will be starting to tire. Going wide there, Svensson, this right side, trying to get round Doherty. Oh, it's played across. Ross has to tap it away to this near right side. Tense time now. Scott Booth shouting plenty of instructions here. City looking to try and refine their shape. As Brondby are looking for plan B, C or D at the moment to get a goal or two adrift here. City, what a scoreline if they can take it back to Petershill Park, the narrow pitch, the tight ground. Hopefully you're listening and enjoying the action, and hopefully try and bring you some highlights over the weekend, whatever the score. And perhaps you can think about the website and buy your tickets for the game. On October the 31st we've got activities with the kids on Halloween, so mixing Halloween and football. Hopefully a good scoreline. Glasgow City looking to reach the quarter-final for the second time in their history after done it in 2014-15. Remember, those two games are a bit more dramatic. Chesternovo was a bit of a straightforward passage, and still time left in this first leg. Lauders with a bit of a stray head towards their own box as Lauder tries to do the job. Crichton's been penalised for a bit of an argy-bargy with Hasbo. It didn't look like much in it, but it's Crichton the one that's been penalised. Fortunate, Craig.
Yeah, it's one of those 9 times out of 10 it's play on. They're both kind of just shoulder into each other, but City just have to be careful. It's a dangerous range. It's far enough out that you can get it up and over the wall, so City got to be alert.
There's 2 or 3 there, including Pettersson and Miss Christensen. I think Christensen's going to leave it, and it's going to be, looks like Nana Christensen actually. About 30 yards out, fairly central, collected with real ease in the middle of the goal. Absolutely no problem for Lee Alexander that, and she'll just take a few seconds and take the clock. And she launches it up to the far right side, looking for a touch from Kerr. Joe Love trying to help it further down the direction, sent down Clark's direction from a Brondby player. Doherty and Love and Clark. It's a bit harem-scarum. A little flick from Svensson, and the further pass to the far left side with Lindhart. Tries to go early, and it's taken a big flick up off her face and like a bit of a sugar over the head from McLaughlin into Alexander's hands. But another moment just riding that out. It feels like the intensity 2 or 3 minutes that Brondby had just went down a Richter scale. Yeah,
I think it's probably what we expected. As soon as the second goal went in, Brondby would throw everyone forward, try and get that goal back straight away, and City have rode out well. They've rode out all the pressure so far well, and 25 minutes to go.
Long ball down this right side, Sorensen has got it, lovely play, and it's another strike which is comfortable from Nana Christensen. Good play from Winter as well, who teed up Christensen, but another one just into the arms of Alexander. So comfy for her. Again, just taking a few seconds, ball on the deck, looking up, goes towards us near left side, looking for Kerr, only finds a Brondby head. Love for the flick for Doherty, just inside the City half, got the throw in right in front of this City dugout. Scott would like to give a few more instructions here. 66 minutes on the clock. Sam Kerr scored in the first 40 seconds or so, and then a free kick from Leanne Ross. Looked like Lauder's going to take it, and Ross went there last minute to curl in. and off the fingertips of Abel and spilled into the net. Not a great goal at all, but City will take it. They're 2 to the good in the last 16 first leg on the road in the UEFA Women's Champions League. But they've been under a heck of a lot of pressure since the goal. That's a good bit of skill far side from Brondby. 30 yards out, laid across by Winter, looking there for Christensen, Anna Christensen, but City come away with it. Crichton laid up for Howitt, and Shine just behind Leanne Crichton, who's looking okay after, of course, she was a doubt for this game. Crosses Henriksen. Now Sorensen near side, about 25 yards out from goal. Quick throw in. And I don't know if it's a foul throw, but it's a City ball actually been given. I think it was a foul throw.
Nah, that was one of the easiest decisions I think this referee has had to make tonight.
How do you think the ref's done actually so far tonight?
I think she's been very strong. They've had the indirect free kick, which confused us. So when we watch the replays, we might be able to work out what happened. We may have missed something up here. But overall, there's a couple of 50-50 she's given that potentially she didn't need to, but overall I think the refs had a really strong opening 68 minutes.
Ball spins away, a bit of a speculative effort from distance from Becca Winter. It came on at half time, as I say, playing kind of through the middle at the moment of the attacking shape that they've got, Brondby, but they've had that moment after the second goal, but they haven't changed their way too much in the grand scheme of things, and City have been very resolute. They have had 12 attempts, Brondby, and they've had 5 on target in the game. City have had 4 attempts, and they've scored 2 goals and only 1 on target. Ball ricocheting for Crichton to try and chase on the far side, but there first was Pettersson. Clear to another yellow jersey, got the throw in. It's a long throw as well. Christensen on that left side, got by Ross. McLaughlin tried to get there, found support and went it. There's Doherty with the slide up towards Crichton, who tried to turn away from Pilderup, and on that halfway been fouled there on that far side. No advantage coming, and she's just off the touchline, and that is in a spot where been a lot of pain at the weekend. Hopefully it's not the same leg, and the fans not happy, the home fans, but she's actually just on the edge, just off the pitch, is Leanne Crichton. She's on her knees, but that's one of those you're wincing because of the injury at the weekend. Leanne Crichton, taking a bad tackle like that. Yeah,
it's one, as soon as you saw it, the referee was going straight across to give the free kick, but it's one when you saw who it was as well. Leanne Crichton, after the horrible challenge on Sunday, that's the last thing you want to see is go down with like that. But she's back up. We'll watch how she moves in the next couple of minutes, but hopefully all is okay.
Ross with the free kick a couple of seconds ago. Doherty on the other side, this left side, tried to play it across. Howitt is at the far corner flag on the right, looking to use Pilderup, who was booked for that challenge incidentally. She's shown a yellow card for the challenge on Crichton. Ball is with City down there, and Megan Foley, I think, is probably a player you'd expect to come on. Absolutely fantastic utility player, a workhorse engine, the works. And in a scenario like this, Kirsty Howitt has run her race, and she's went off. Well, she's actually went off at the nearest possible bit, which is one of the other new rules. I think one or two of the City players are wondering, why are you going off right next to the goal? Why not take a few extra seconds and maybe walk a little bit round or walk to the centre? But she's walking around behind the goal, she's off, Foley is on. Quick throw into her side on the edge of the box. Joe Love is in space on the edge of the box. Joe Love is deflected. Oh, it's spilled by the goalkeeper, but she will get there. They are claiming for handball, Joe Love and a few of the City players, but referee unmoved, and referee's kind of shrugged her arm at Crichton as they look to try and get on the go quickly, but off McLaughlin and into Alexander's hands. I think that, as expected, the crowd are looking for a pass back, but it kind of ricocheted off the shin of McLaughlin into Alexander. Definitely no intention with that. Joe Love from 25, 30 yards out. If it's a clean strike, you never know, but just a pace taken off it with the deflection. Docherty's on halfway. I think Per Nelson has given a few tips and advice of speeding up play a little bit. I don't think City are slowing the game down too much, really. But they are just taking that extra second or two when they're in possession, trying to restart, just getting their best back, because they have to do a lot of defensive work. Clark has got tensions behind her from Winter, so has to go all the way back to Alexander. Spins it that far right side, header down though from Lentard, only for Ross, looking to try and play and Shine, but Shine's not chasing on the right side. Pedersen's got plenty of time. Feels like Brondby just kind of ran out of ideas again. Completely went back to how they were playing when they were 1-0 down. Yeah,
I think that 5 minutes or so after the goal, you'd have been really tempted to say, I think Brondby are gonna get one back here. They're really putting City under pressure. Since then though, City have held them off, they've kept them at arm's length, and as you're saying, they're running out of ideas, and they're almost trying to force things at times.
Well, here's Sorensen though, trying to work by Foley. First real action for Foley is to spin and turn it away, prevents it from a cross going in just now. Near right side, 73 minutes on the clock. Glasgow City with a 2-0 lead, away from home in the last 16. Sorensen though, Ross with a header out of the box, out of the 6-yard area. Good link up to Louise Christensen from Hasbro, but she's been pushed out and further back. Now space on the far left. McLaughlin's going to get the challenge in though on Lentard. So City ball as well. Another bit of excellent play from Rachel McLaughlin. Now just taking a few seconds with the throw in deep inside their own half. It's run back by Christensen, trying to keep it going, but couldn't keep it going enough, and City have it slightly further up, now outside the level mark with the box. And that far side there, switching it across now from inside their own half. Brondby, Docherty's head, foul, and Docherty landing on the heat. Both players going for it together, but Docherty the worst there up against Rebecca Winter.
Yeah, slightly nasty one there. She'd gone down to head it, and Winter, no real intention of her going to get the ball, I don't think, there. But important thing, Docherty's alright, back on her feet again, and just starting to get the hurry up from the referee.
So Alexander the free kick. Say Brondby still with all the possession, all the control. It's kind of been the way of the game in large swathes, but they just haven't penetrated enough of real kind of on-target chances. And Shine wary of the bouncy ball up the attacking end, seeing if it would fall for it, and Christensen now with space, middle of the park. Glenn Crichton's going to get a slam dunk yellow card. A little right shove in the back and a little innocent look. That is very much taking one for the team. Round of applause from the crowd, the home crowd, but you could see that coming a mile off that one. So one booking apiece, and there is a free kick still in a relatively dangerous spot, and for Pedersen, I think looks like the one she's going to take it here, about 40 yards out. I think she's just going to go short actually. She's certainly hinting at going short. She does. She's spotted space far side. Back with Pedersen now to try and lob in centrally. Love's header. Now Foley trying to blast away. Just kept away from her toes. But Love again for Foley. Now space for Shine. Gets the touch. Ahead of Pedersen. On halfway. Looking to feed through. Looking for Lauder, but pass cut out. Kerr looking to perhaps try and pinch in, but not quite. Anna Christensen and a couple of other passes Good play here from Sorensen, breezing by Doherty. Support there in Winter. It's right near side. Want to cross in, but touch from Ross and clearance from Ross. Throwing about 35 yards out near side. Henriksen quick with the throw, gets it back. Up against Doherty. Spot space on Winter. And there's Sorensen. Good triangle there. Sorensen passed. Now Winter. Wide on the right side. Clark trying to get a deflection dead and then Lauder away. Here's Foley. And off the Brondby player of Carlson. 13 just under to play. If you have been listening, let us know who you are, where you are, what you are, and what you're all doing. Enjoying the action. Change for Brondby. And Olivia Drost is on. Oh, sorry, Frida Abilda is on actually. So Brondby making a second change in the game. No, in fact it is Drost that's coming on. And Henriksen is off. Number 8 Henriksen, so Drost on. Kerr getting tugged back deep inside the City half. And then Crichton, I think, asking why is there not a yellow card. Again, just a little bit of time from Alexander. 78 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock. Right, just to the right in front of us. Beside where all the largely home support are. A few City supporters here. Long it goes from Alexander. Kerr with a further flick. Crichton trying to keep it in play left side. Dangerous spot, but at least it keeps him away from a bit of defending for a while. And Doherty with ball in hands here. Towards Foley, that she couldn't quite control it as she wanted on that byline, and that bit of relief is gone. And how quick are these balls being whizzed in by the ball patrol, because they've restarted already, up to halfway they are already, Brondby. Louise Christensen, middle of the park. Sorensen, near side. Plidder up. Doherty ahead of Sorensen, Brondby throw. Christensen, that was another Christensen in for Sorensen on the right side, into the side netting, goal kick. And well, there's 2 or 3 in yellow trying to make their way in. There was a lot of orange and black as well, but space is closing down on the angle on this right side and screwed it into the side of the net. No deflection. 18 minutes on the clock. Sam Kerr, minute 1 of the game. 1-0 Glasgow City on the honour mark. Number 2 able with the own goal from a Leon Ross free kick. Glasgow City just over, perhaps including stoppage time, 10 minutes away from their first ever away win in the last 16 stage of the UEFA Women's Champions League, as it's rain still coming down a little bit, mist as well. And Brondby now Kerr picking up on this left side, looking to try and play in Lauder. Is the ball going to stay in play in the byline? She does well to try and keep it in play. Foley can't reach it though, next to the corner flag, so it is a Brondby throw, but in a good spot. 1 or 2 cries of a foul throw, but Shine looking to pick up here. Lauder putting pressure on the press. Still energy from Claire Shine, like a Duracell battery in there. But it is Brondby far side with it in their own half from deep. Centrally is Hasbo, supporting Louise Christensen. Old Clark has just miskicked it, but plenty of time in behind. Doherty leaves it for Alexander. But out with that, as we've mentioned, 3 or 4 minute spell of urgency. Brondby just not really anything. I'm not going to say it's comfortable, but it's looking okay here. There's Crichton and Shine doing well to keep hold of the ball, and they've got a throw in. And now Sorensen almost been ball patrol herself, trying to get the ball to Docherty to restart quickly. Off Crichton's chest for Shine, left side, and she's got away here, looking to try and thread through Lauder, but it was Louise Christensen, but poor pass. Crichton's found Shine on the turn, clear Shine, but straight into Abel's hands. But you never know with a strike from that distance. She's been a bit suspect tonight, but the curl on the turn and the strike was relatively dealt with by the goalie. Foley just inside their own half on this left side, back to Docherty and no one there in orange, but encouraging stuff there. They've had time and space as Brondby trying to work something, as Hayley Sinclair is going to add a bit of injection, probably you'd suspect in the final few minutes as she's getting ready to come on. Clark just leaves that and the change will be made, but the change will be made now. Sinclair to come on and making way Hayley Lauder for the last few minutes. So interesting change here, and a little spell where City did have a kind of couple of half glimpses of chances, showing that they've still got a bit of energy in them, the ones that started.
Yeah, that's great to see, and it helps relieve the pressure on the back line. They've had a lot of work to do tonight. They've done it terrifically, but every time the ball goes into that Brondby half, firstly it eats up that bit of time, and secondly it gives the defenders a break.
And Kerr is motoring up the left wing all the way in a barge with Carlson all the way up to the byline on the far side, but the Arja Barja ends with a free kick to the home side. Docherty, header from Foley, just inside the Brondby half. The home team have it. 84 minutes on the clock. I know we're kind of on a bit of a countdown mission here, it kind of feels like, but I'm sure plenty of you are thinking the same. Oh, it messy in there for the Danish champions. Far side, not really finding the room. They're going to switch it across Christensen, Louise Christensen, and Docherty just says bye to the ball as it goes out by the photographers, and no real hurry. Last bit of encouragement from Scott Booth in these closing few minutes.
Thanks for the support. Efter kampen vil der være mulighed for autografer for hockeyspillere.
Foley shoved, free kick right below us, just inside the City half. That's a few more seconds. Docherty not taking too long here. So Docherty looking for an option. I think Crichton is shouting, just send it down this direction towards the corner. Crichton's actually going to get there, and so is Foley. Is she just going to keep it down the corner? Is she going to think about getting it in towards the box? Certainly been sworn by a couple of yellow jerseys. It is a Glasgow City ball, though. That's wonderful. Game management. If you can't get it in the box, then keep it down the corner flag. And Docherty found Foley, and just taking their time down that side. Again, it's another City throw-in. This time they were long in towards Shine on the edge of the box. Crichton's touch, couldn't find Sinclair. And up towards halfway, and Joe Love coming in, had to time that right and did, to slide it off the toes of Sorensen, who takes her on throw-in. Pulled it up back centrally with Carlson to the far left side. Oh, it's wriggled through. Hasbo on the left edge of the box, but Clark dealt with it. Thrown in towards Hasbo. Hasbo trying to get this in. Clark's header back towards that direction. Shine just punts it anywhere will do. Josephine Hasbo's been given the home team's player of the match. I think she was partly, well, certainly was easily done by McLaughlin for the opening goal. Ball up there, control from Christensen on the edge. Cross here for Sorensen. And pushed to the right edge of the box. Now towards the corner flag by Docherty and Foley. And Docherty wins the ball, sends the ball down the other direction. The goalkeeper here able is right the way to the near touchline, a good 30 yards out of goal. No one in orange anywhere to trouble. Lots of space on the far left by Sinclair. Trying through, but Clark on the edge of the D. Getting a bit of an urgency spell again. Well, at least one, but they're going to have to score goals in Glasgow. At the moment, City have 2 away goals. And we're in the 89th minute of the game now. A lot of encouragement, like to Valerie and Stuart and Christopher and Tina, Cole, Emma, all watching. We're all listening, I should say. Great to have so many listening that haven't been able to make the trip. Of course, the second leg in a fortnight's time, Petershill Park, Thursday the 31st of October. Halloween night, but I should have one or two, hopefully, activities for the kids at Petershill. Alexander up long to the right side. Marcin, as we've looked at it all night in their high vantage point here at the Brondby Stadion. Lachlan just going to dip a ball away from the toes of Lintard. Good 35-40 yards out on that far side. Just no change despite trying to break the door here at Brondby. And I know there was a lot of talk about the two sides being even, you can't rule them out for the second leg if it was to stay 2-0, but I have to say, we're going to be a foul here. I think Docherty is going to win a free kick. I have to say, Craig, I've been thoroughly disappointed actually by Brondby. I was expecting a lot more from them. Yeah,
they've not, from all the talk we had before the game and all the key players we pointed out yesterday in the preview, and it feels, if you're looking from a Brondby point of view, slightly anticlimactic. They've not seen the Brondby we're arguably expecting, but I think you've got to give more of the credit to City. They've nullified them.
Yep.
Defensively, I think the back four and then Jenna Clark coming in halfway through, there's 3 minutes of stoppage time goes up on the board, but you've got to give huge credit to the City squad. They've come here to Copenhagen, and I think you'll find it hard to argue that they don't deserve this.
No, for their playing. Sinclair on the far side has danced by, and she's got a long way to go. Shine in the middle. She may well decide to go to the corner, looking to try and take on Louise Christensen. Just kept the ball away, so we're into 3 minutes of value on time. At the end of the second half, so they're looking to at least hold out, take 2 goals. Now 2-0 is that kind of proverbial tricky scoreline we've seen last year in the last 32 Smatio. They conceded early at Petershill, and times are hanging a little bit. Slightly different team this year, and we've seen the strength they had going behind against Chertonovo early in the last 32. Again, Brondby are a better team than Chertonovo, if perhaps not shown it tonight, but it'll be very interesting to see how Brondby play in a narrower Petershill Park, tight ground. As Megan Foley has won a free kick about 12-14 yards inside the Brondby half on the touchline with a bit of an argy-bargy. That's going to help, but it'll be interesting to see how Brondby deal with next week, particularly as they're going to need goals. The passing style game, I know City play it, how Brondby have played tonight has been very pedestrian. I don't know how they're going to do it with less of width on the pitch. Just as we see Docherty take the free kick down the corner and off the flag.
Yeah, and I think that Brondby where their strengths have been tonight has been using the width of this pitch here at the Brondby Stadium. So it will be interesting to see how they cope with the Petershill Park pitch. And City, I'm sure Scott will be straight away tonight, straight looking back on the game here and working out how they can hurt Brondby in 2 weeks' time.
Played almost 2 minutes of the added time. Referee not too happy as balls. The yellow card being flung. I'm not sure. I think tapped from a blocking for time wasting. Don't think she'll mind too much. Of course, they do carry over the cards, but Ross is in their own half and again fairly comfortable. And the free kick to Glasgow City for a late challenge and care. Frustrational challenge. So Ross just 10 yards or so inside their half, up that far right side. Taken by Christensen. Perhaps one last chance for the home team, but Kerr just a little shove it onto this near side. With Pilder up centrally, Hasbro at 10 yards in. Christensen going to go to the left side. This is the last chance, surely, off McLaughlin. The attempted cross centrally, Christensen 25-30 yards out. Nana Christensen, another Christensen, Pilder up. Sorensen, right side, off Doherty. They're going to have a corner to finish the game here. One of those nervy ones. Balls quickly on the spot. Sorensen looking to find a teammate for one back. As we're into added time and added time. It's Sorensen. The little flick is bobbling around here. Ross and Clark trying to help it this way. The deflection there from Christensen. It's not clear and it's spun away from Carlson. There is the final whistle in Brondby, and it's the first ever away win in the last 16 for Glasgow City. What a result in Denmark, in a tie which both sides would have felt they had a great chance to make the quarter-finals. Glasgow City have had to hang in terms of not absolutely last-ditch defending, but Brondby's passing game, big pitch, and City, bar one or two little moments, have dealt with it so well. And the game plan for, I guess, both sides changed in the first half. In the first minute when Sam Kerr scored from a tight angle, and then in the second half on the hour mark, a free kick from Leanne Ross stung off the fingertips of the keeper into the back of the net. And 1,704 people have been in here tonight, most of them home supporters, and they've seen their side lose 2-0 to Glasgow City. And what a tie it sets up at Petershill Park in 2 weeks' time, with City with 2 away goals. What a result. Brondby 0, Glasgow City 2.